I'm trying to multitask a bit, cleaning up for Pesach here, but I still want to finish the daf today, so we're on Nun Amud Beis, we're on 50b in Avodah Zarah. What is that? A stone? That's a pretty rock, so we'll save that pebble. So and it's funny, that's what we're talking about now in our daf is rocks. So the excuse me. We had a brisa which said that you're allowed to have a street that's paved, cobblestone street. We're discussing the question of whether or not stones that are tossed at Markolis are considered takrovis avodah zarah, something that's offered to an idol which can never be nullified, or they're considered to be avodah zarah, which a Gentile can nullify but a Jew could not. So the Brisa said that if a Gentile makes a road out of cobblestones that were thrown at Markolis, then you're allowed to walk there. However, Yisrael shevi yivanim min Markolis v'chipa and darachim v'setrois asuras. But if a Jew would do that, then you're not allowed to walk there. You're not allowed to have benefit from the stones. You're not allowed to walk on them. So the lace nagar bar nagar is kanine. There's no wise person whose father was a wise person. The literal meaning here is a carpenter, but here we have it means colloquially a wise person, a sage. Okay, for Kanine, you can answer this question because how can we say that it's kosher? It's takrovis avodah zarah. Takrovis avodah zarah doesn't have bittul. So I'm Rav Sheshis. Rav Sheshis said, "Ana lo nagar v'lo bar ana lo bar nagar ana u'furkinan lei." He said, "I'm not a wise sage, and I'm not the son of a wise sage, but I have an answer." My kushya the Rav Gidal. What's the question of Rav Gidal, who said that the name of Rav, that there is no bittul to takrovis avodah zarah? Baya ke'ein panim v'leika. As we said before, that to be considered takrovis avodah zarah needs to be similar to be considered a sacrifice to an idol. It needs to be similar to the way we sacrifice to our God and to the true God in our temple. In the ancient times, in Rav Shesh's time, there already was no more temple, but that it should be the same methods. Valeka, and we don't have such a thing of worshiping God by throwing rocks. So Amar Rav Yosef bar Abba Ikwa over Yomi Lasrin. So we said before that if Yosef bar Abba said that Rabbi bar Yirmiyah came to our place, he brought this teaching with him. Maslian Mazimin Bashvias. The Mishnah is as follows: you're allowed to remove bugs, and you're allowed to put some fertilizer around around the bottom of a tree. The tree is dying, and the only way to save it is putting a little bit of fertilizer on the bottom. So you're allowed to do that during the sabbatical year, even though you're not allowed to generally do any gardening work. Ve'ein maslin masama in b'moed, but you're not allowed to do this work on Chol HaMoed. Kan v'chan ein megazmin, v'saken shemen legazim. What was this megazmin? Alright, now we have the art scope, so we can go look this word up. You're not allowed neither on Shemitah nor on Chol HaMoed to be megazim. What is this word? Megazmin. You can't prune. V'sachen shemen legizum. But you could put oil, smear oil on the branch after it was pruned. Bein b'moed bein b'shvius. Whether it is Chol HaMoed or whether it is a sabbatical year. V'leis nagar bar nagar de v'kinei. So after this, we said the same thing. This brisa we can't understand. There's no sage who's the son of a sage who can, no scholar, son of a scholar who can answer this word. So Amar Ravina said, Ana le nagar ana v'le bar nagar ana u'fakanina la. He says, I'm not a scholar nor the son of a scholar, but I'll answer it. My kakashale. What difficulty is there with this brisa? Lema ma'id shvius kakashale. Ma'ishna shvius l'shari ma'ishna moed aser. Is it because the difference between Chol HaMoed and Shemitah, that the Shemitah is sabbatical year, why should we be less strict than Chol HaMoed? Midame. Can you really make a comparison? Shviyas malachas arachmana. Tircha shari. Moed afil tircha nami asa. In Shemitah, there's only actual work that's not allowed to be done, but meaning actual labor that actually changes, that you're not allowed to do, but you are allowed to do things that are just difficult to do, that are a burden, that's an exertion. But Chol HaMoed, you're not even allowed to exert yourself. So that's why Chol HaMoed is more strict. Except the Davar Aved and so forth. However, there is a difference. There is a difficulty, a seeming contradiction when we're talking about the difference between placing some fertilizer on Chol HaMoed and pruning. Why is fertilizing okay and pruning not? Midame, is this really comparable? Sim o kume alana v'share gizem avrui alana v'aser. The answer is that when you have a tree that's about to die and you rescue it by fertilizing it, that is preserving the health of the tree. but it doesn't strengthen the tree. It's a preservative effect and not a strengthening effect. However, pruning is actually a strengthening effect. However, there's still a difficulty trying to understand this about fertilizing. You can get rid of the worms, and you can apply fertilizer on the sabbatical or mini. This seems to contrast the following: Mazamanus and the Tias for Karchanaisan, Kaitmanaisan, Roisan and Bottom, Mashkanaisan, Ad Rosh Hashanah, and B'Shvius Loi. That you're allowed to, when it comes to little sapling trees, you're allowed to put fertilizer, you're allowed to, mulch, you're allowed to wrap them, you're allowed to put ash on them, you're allowed to make shelters for them, you could water them until Rosh Hashanah. That would seem to indicate that only until Rosh Hashanah, but not in the actual, only until the new year, but not until once the Shemitah year actually begins, you cannot. The Mishnah in Shvius. Dilmak Rav Ukva Bar Chama. And this follows Rav Ukva Bar Chama. Rav Ukva Bar Chama Trei Kashkushe Havu. Chad Labri Lana Aser. Chad Lasatume Pile Vishari. What about hoeing a tree, olive trees? If it strengthens the tree on the sabbatical, that's on the outside. No, if you're strengthening the tree, that's prohibited. But if you're just covering the cracks and the roots, that's permitted. Hachanami, trezuhame havu chada kameli lana v'shar v'chad lebreya lana v'aser. There's also two types of putting fertilizer. If it's to save the tree, you're allowed to, but if it's to strengthen the tree, you're not on the sabbatical. The same thing with smearing oil. Seems to be two different laws. Katani sachin shem lagazim bein b'mayid ben mishvias. Reminhi sachin es a pagan. Nakvin menfatmen oisan. Ad Rosh Hashanah ein b'shvias lo. You can smear oil on a pruned branch, both in Chol Hamoed and Shemitah. It says you could smear oil on unripe figs. You can pierce them, fatten them up with oil into Rosh Hashanah. It seems only into Rosh Hashanah. But once the Shemitah comes, not. That's also a mission in Shvias. Midame. So this really comparable. Hachai kume milana v'shari. This one is preserving the tree. Chatum tume pervasa, and the other one fattens the fruit, and you're not allowed to. If it preserves the tree, you are allowed to. Amalei Rav Samar brother of Ashi Ravina. Rabbi Yomi Sichel and Moed Azim and Moed Kakashilim. Samar Barashi, brother of Ashi, said to Ravina that Rabbi Yomi had taught about smearing oil and placing fertilizer on Cholamoid. These seem to be a contradiction. Mikti. Hayakume v'hayakume. Now we could say both are preservative and not strengthening. Maishna hadashari, maishna hadaser. So why is one permitted and one is prohibited? And the kama leis nagar v'lei bar nagar defarkine. So that's why he said there's no scholar or the son of a scholar or the student of a scholar who can answer this. That's the issue. Okay. So we're going back to teaching about Avodah Zarah. Amar Yehuda, Amar Rav. Yehuda said the name of Rav. Akum she'oiv denoisa b'makel. Shiver makel b'fnei chayev. Zorak makel b'fnei potter. What if there's a type of idol that is worshipped by shaking a rod in front of it? So if the worshipper broke the rod in front of the idol while shaking it in its regular worship, he is liable to the death sentence because he worshipped the idol. But if he threw the rod in front of it, he is exempt. So, what's this about breaking the rod? Is it because we have something? It's something like slaughtering an animal in our temple? We also threw blood in the temple, so we have such a thing of throwing also. So when we throw the blood, it like splatters. So if it shatters the object, that would be the same type of throwing. This is not. Esvei safas batsoya shenisach avid shel memi raglayim. What if one placed excrement on an idol's face, or poured urine from a chamber pot into in front of the idol as an act of worship? Chayev. He's liable. So we'll have to leave this over. It's kind of disgusting things to talk about. Avodah Zarah is a disgusting thing. I thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe.